What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, let's get straight into things. Another pretty messy day, to be honest. You can see we traded up into this imbalance that I drew out, but you can see we overshot that quite a lot on dollar, and then you can see we traded back down, and now we're just volume still somehow managing to respect that order block opening price. Now, honestly, this week I pretty much I'd given up in that, like, I'm not really expecting much, as in my accuracy and whole o- my whole oh my whole ideal for this week kind of just gone. Now obviously we had the interest rate announcements, which is what caused such mess, and you can see how volume has managed to fill the imbalance in quite nicely. The fact that we've closed below it is saying to me that it's likely we may get a reversal, in that, I still want to see this imbalance, this massive imbalance that I drew out yesterday, get filled. So if you haven't watched yesterday's video, go check it out. But basically what I was saying is that I'm looking for this large range to get filled in, because there's a clear volume imbalance down here. I'm bearish overall, so I wanted to see if price can try and dip down and try and fill that. If we drop to the 1 hour, you can see how price traded, ran up. Here, I do believe there's 2 p.m., which was the back of non-farm payroll. Ran stops again, failed to take out this high. We did take out these stops as well, buy side liquidity residing above here. So the fact that we've displaced below here now, we have a breaker, high, low, higher high, displacement. You could argue that we traded into that and that this wick is just simply overshooting. And then I'd like to think that for the rest of the week, moving into Thursday and Friday, like I said, this is the imbalance I have my eyes set on to try and fill. So moving into the new day, I do want to see us continue to trade lower. That would mean that this last up close candle, I want to see become a bearish order block, basically. So just to clear things up a little bit, let's get rid of a few things. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Actually, I'm going to keep that up just so that we can see that buy side liquidity has been grabbed once, twice, and we failed to take out that high. Let me quickly add GBP actually and see how that behaved. Same thing there, and let's double check euro. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them misbehaved. No, okay, same thing there. So we're seeing tandem, which is nice. But yeah, generally speaking, this fair value gap, so between this low and this open, if we drag that through, you can see we're currently respecting that. Moving into the new day, I don't want to see price trade higher than that. Any kind of rallying above the midnight candles where I'd be expecting shorts to form on dollar, and then I'm looking for this imbalance to get filled, basically. All I'm looking for is this imbalance to get filled. And I think that Thursday should be able to offer it us. Now, we do have even more high impact news tomorrow, but it's at classic 8:30, so they shouldn't be too bad, and setup should be able to form around 8 a.m. But again, as I was saying, as midnight approaches, any kind of rallying, I'm then looking for shorting opportunities, so maybe during London, with the expectation that price will drop down, take out this Wednesday low, fill this imbalance, and then we'll have to see where we are moving into Thursday. So overall, so long as this stays intact, this bullish or this bearish fair value gap, sorry, as long as this stays there and price doesn't trade through it, I'm happy to remain bearish. If it goes above it, I'm literally throwing my laptop in the bin. So let's go to the 5 minute, and you'll see how we're pretty much just consolidating around this range. Again, not the cleanest of price action. This week's been very difficult. You can see how price is rallying. You can study how price makes its way up, though. This is very interesting. So we have classic, fair value gap, bullish order block, bullish order block. The way it's stepping up is quite interesting. And if you go down to the low time frames and study this, you'll learn a lot in terms of the way it's delivering. Look at this, the way we trade into this high here. Oh, we don't even touch that. Let me see. The way that price is like using previous ranges, like there's a small gap there. You can see we trade down into that here. Then obviously we have 50% of this fair value gap right here. And then how it's respecting that. It's very interesting the way that price is making its way up there. Now, this displacement to the downside is supportive of our bias, and you can see how, remember, this is a fair value gap on the higher time frame, and we've pretty much filled it on both sides. So that's why I don't expect price to need to rally back through it. And then I just got my eyes on this imbalance moving into tomorrow, basically, guys. So today wasn't the best days. Let's go to GBP USD. We will start on the daily. Again, quite an ugly day. Here is Wednesday's price delivery, and you can see we dipped down a little bit more into the fair value gap. Now, what's interesting is if we look at the high to this low, we've just tapped into the 50% level, 50% level. But look at how volume's staying above it. Mainly, I'm just focused on volume. Let's delete some stuff. Start again. Mainly, I'm just focused on volume, and the reason for that is because when we're seeing price respect the 50% level and close above it, above fair value gaps, it is still bullish, so to speak. As in, there's no reason to change our bias. One thing I do have my eyes set on is this level right here. So this is a rejection block level in that price. Didn't even manage to trade into it, and then we got rejected lower. So I want to see if price can run up into this level. Let's make that a bit thicker, and that would be in line, obviously, with dollar. Ideally, being able to drop and fill this imbalance on the daily. So that's what I'm looking for in GBP. The lowest I'd want to see price trade tomorrow, probably 25% off this wick. Any lower than that, I'd be a little bit suspicious. So let's get that 25% marked out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the low time frames and see what we can find residing around there. And then obviously we have this daily high as well as a potential, as a buy side liquidity target. So let's go to the 4 hour, see if we can find anything. Not really much at all. There's a bullish order block right here, and that's what we traded down into. You can see we came down into the bullish order block, and then we closed higher, which is nice. It's supportive. Nonetheless, we have an inversion fair value gap right here that happens to line up with our level that we just marked out from the daily. So this is an inversion fair value gap because we delivered on the downside, closed above it on the upside. Yes, we've wicked through it, but look at volume. So when price comes back down to it, I expect it to provide support to what springboard price higher, and then this was at daily level. Now you might argue, oh, there's a bearish order block here. Bearish order block should be completely ignored if we're bullish. So if I'm expecting, if we're bullish and we want to see price trade to the upside, like if I'm looking for this high to get traded to right here, if I'm looking for us to trade up here, any kind of bearish order block on the way down, I don't really care for it. I don't expect it to act. I don't expect it to act as a bullish order block. I expect price to trade through it, and use it to trade on higher. So if anything, we could split this into quarters. Then once price gets there, I'd want to see price use this level, and this level to make its way through and then continue up. Because, that's with a bullish bias. If we were bearish, then I'd be paying attention to this. But because I have that bias, I'm expecting this to be, driven through. If price comes to it and crashes into it and turns around at the open of it, whole different story. We're clearly bearish. That means I was wrong, and then we'll simply just readjust accordingly. So yeah, let's go to the 1 hour, take a closer look. Again, ugly price action, not the best, but I do think tomorrow's going to offer us some nice trading opportunities for sure. So I will try and duplicate my trades to TradingView like what I did last time, the other day, just to show you. I do like how we ran out these stops. We filled this fair value gap. Look at this. Beautiful. So this discount imbalance has been completely traded through and to. So price shouldn't need to come back down there. Now we should be seeking higher buy side liquidity, such as above these relative equal highs, and then we have this large imbalance, and then we have that high I was talking about from the daily as well. Now we'll go to the 15 minutes, see if there's anything. Not much. Again, another imbalance that's been filled, and I don't think there's really not much here because of how much consolidation there is. But I wouldn't be surprised if London started rallying quite aggressively. So yeah, I'm going to be definitely looking for London. Any kind of drop below that midnight opening price, I'll be looking for long opportunities with expectation to run this buy side, fill this imbalance, and then hopefully take out this high. So that's what I'm expecting on pound. Not the most, but again, just paying attention to the way we're consolidated, the way that we're filling these fair value gaps. And this is all confluence to me as to why I don't want to see price drop below these levels. It's like, okay, we've filled that one. Okay, we've filled that one. Price shouldn't need to come down here. And if it does, it will do it aggressively and it will run. And we'll know about it, kind of thing. But until then, we'll probably see continued consolidation. We might dip a little bit. Or we might, engineer some kind of liquidity on the downside. Maybe this low is that. But my point is, we just got to allow price moving into the new day. So that midnight candle is going to be very important, and the Asia range is also going to be important because that will help us frame our trade setup. So let's get that midnight candle marked out right here, and as soon as we get there, again, I'm looking for price to drop down below that that Thursday opening price. That's when I want to be going long, because it'll be in a discount, relative to the range, if we're still in this range, and then I'd want to go long, expecting that buy side. This isn't trading. This is not trading advice, guys. Let's go to the Euro USD. We'll start on the daily here as well. And also, thank you everyone for joining the Discord. There's loads of people in there. Guys, keep joining and keep talking. Do talk in there, because there's a whole community there. You should be talking to each other. We can all help one another. Here's the daily anyway. Euros. I'm not liking Euro whatsoever. But we have a clear premium fair value gap to trade into. Although I do anticipate price to be able to run that, so I'm going to make that blue for now. And then the lowest I'd want to see price trade is probably going to be 50% of this wick. Now this wick is a large wick, bear in mind. So we will drop down to the lower time frames and see what we can find that's leveled with this wick. Now let's go to the 4 hour, and you can see we have a nice bullish order block, which just happens to be at the 50% level. So if price trades down into the open of that, beautiful, nice setup. It should allow us to go long, because that should be a sensitive price level, and that would be the lowest I'd want to see price trade. If it starts digging deeper into that bullish order block, I'd be very concerned. And if we don't trade to this fair value gap at all, so imagine we just trade on higher, even better. It just shows more bullishness, because it shows that price wasn't even willing to return. It just shows it's ready to go. Then that would act as a kind of like an implied breakaway gap, but we could talk about that tomorrow. My point is, I'm expecting price to be able to run. We can see a bigger imbalance here on the 4 hour, which is nice. And then let's go to the 1 hour. And then same thing, yeah, really not much going on, just a bullish order block. We've got a breaker, got a high here, low. We haven't quite taken out these highs yet, so we just need to be wary of that. But these relative equal highs, this high, this high, this high, this is way too clean. As in, price is definitely going to drink that for dinner. So pay attention to that level moving into tomorrow. And then let's drop to the 15-minute again. Here you can see our price turned on the back of interest rate announcements, and again, fair value gap filled. I like the way it's filled, this fair value gap. And then if we look at the 50% level, look at the way it's done this, guys. You see how volume comes back down to it, touches it, and leaves it. Price shouldn't need to come back down below that. That's the level of defense. It's what we call sponsorship, and we want to see continued sponsorship. So again, once we get that midnight opening price, as soon as we drop below it, if we drop below it, I'll be looking for potential longs. We have high impact news at 1:30. That should be interesting. So I'll be looking around 1 o'clock or 12 for potential setups. But 3 a.m. is generally when you should be looking for the big boy, so to speak. Again, beautiful relative equal highs waiting up there to be swept. So yeah, let's go to the 5-minute. Anything? Not really much more. Neither on the 1 minute, but you get the idea. My point is, this should be able to support price, and we should see price continue to rally. We might even see it rally into the Asia session, which is completely fine. Like we might take out this buy side on the back of that 1:30 and then drop again, and then 3 o'clock we'll pull it back up again. Like we have to be careful, but if you watch my backtesting videos, I do talk more about what times of the day you should be trading. But overall, bullish, in line with dollar. Ideally, it shouldn't be rallying at all. We should see dollar falling aggressively. I want to see it climb through this imbalance, and once it's on the other side of this imbalance, I want to see it use it as resistance and push it like a trampoline straight into this original consolidation, which I was talking about at the very beginning of the week, and below these Monday lows, which I believe are engineered. So that's going to be everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that all makes sense. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe, join the mailing list, join the Discord as well, like I said. And yeah, happy trading. Peace.